James Gill grew up in Montreal, the son of a civil engineer and grandson of a geology professor.
Because of my exposure to the geological side of it, it was interesting to me, and my grandfather had a pretty good life, so I thought, well, I guess I'll give geology a try.
After graduating with bachelor's and master's degrees from McGill University, Jim obtained a PhD from Carleton University. His first jobs as an economic geologist were for companies like Texas Gulf, Getty Mines, and Denison Mines.
At Denison, I got a lot of exposure to how to do deals, and I think that helped me a lot when I decided to try to do it for myself.
He's probably the most well-rounded CEO that I've ever worked with. You know, Jim understood all facets of the mining business. Geology, of course, mining, finance, capital markets. He was also an entrepreneur.
It was that unique set of skills that allowed Jim Gill to go from economic geologist to CEO of a $4 billion company.
I guess I had a bit of an entrepreneurial bent, and I wanted to try to see if I could do it on my own. In 1981, I made that decision. It took a while to get everything going, but I've never regretted it for a minute, that's for sure.
The first step was raising the initial $250,000 to get started. That's when Jim approached Leo Thibodeau.
And I was hoping that I'd be able to convince him to put $25,000 in to get me started. We had lunch, and at the end of the lunch, he said, well, I'm going to put in $250,000. So I thought, whoa, well, this is calling my bluff, isn't it? Now I'm going to have to do this because I said I was going to, and now I'm going to have the money.
John Jodrey became the other initial investor, and OR Resources was born. Jim started by making a deal with Brominco, which had land holdings in the Val-d'Or Gold Camp. They found several deposits and created two mines, Norlartic and Kearns.
Then this is a picture of Howard and I and Len O'Gorman, who was our mine manager, with the first gold bar from the Kearns mine back in 1988. Big day for us, first production.
But there was a deal with Quebec's provincially owned SOChem that led to a major deposit.
It became really exciting for OR when in 1989 they found the Louvecoeur massive sulfide deposit, which was quite a major copper zinc deposit. It was one of the biggest copper zinc deposits found in Canada since about 1963 or so, when Kidd Creek was found.
Mineral resources for the Louvecoeur project were estimated in 1991 to be 30 million tons, with a copper grade of 4.3% and a zinc grade of 2.1%. The capital cost to develop the mine and construct a 4,000-ton-per-day mill was $300 million. Production commenced early in 1995. It was the largest new mining project in northwestern Quebec in many years. Jim says OR Resources' success was built one project at a time.
I think we were particularly disciplined. We never tried to get carried away and develop 3 or 4 different things at one time. We'd find something, we'd borrow the money, we'd develop it, we'd pay it off. Then we'd get the next one.
Those projects included the Andacollo and Quebrada Blanca mines in Chile and Duck Pond in Newfoundland.
We got all our money back from Andacollo in about 2 years, and we were suddenly sitting there with 2 cash-flowing mines, plus our gold mines. So we had to look for something else, and we ended up at the end of the day purchasing Quebrada Blanca from Cominco and Teck.
The opportunity to make a deal with Thunderman Resources for Duck Pond came just as the Louvecoeur mine was closing.
We were able to take a lot of the equipment from Louvecoeur down to Newfoundland Labrador for the Duck Pond mine, and Jim and his team got that nicely into production in 2007.
Jim's multidisciplinary expertise and business acumen have made him a leader in the industry.
OR was probably the most successful company in using flow-through financing, and really was a catalyst for other companies being able to utilize that type of financing, which was very popular at the time.
It was his personality, as much as his know-how, that made Jim a success.
Attracts good people because of the way he treats people, and he had excellent staff and was able to staff his companies up, operators and miners and that knew how to do the mining.
In 2007, Teck, who had participated with Jim on other ventures, decided to make an offer to purchase OR Resources for $4.1 billion.
I think that it was probably the fastest deal ever done, in that we had our first discussions, I think it was in June, around the 20th of June in 2007, and we closed the deal around the 20th of August in 2007. To decide to go forward with it in that short a period of time was a testament to the quality of the operations that we had and the relationship and trust that the two companies had in each other.
Like many successful mining entrepreneurs, Jim wants to share his success. He independently funds a facility called Hope Haven, an equine therapy center for children with disabilities.
And I'll tell you, if you go up there and you see some of these children and young adults who have serious disabilities, and you see them start laughing and stuff like that when they're riding on these horses, it makes you feel pretty good, I'll tell you.
Jim also supports diabetes research and PDAC's Mining Matters through the Gill Family Foundation.
The Gill Family Foundation have been major contributors over the last 5 or 6 years to PDAC Mining Matters, and we're very thankful for his continued interest in mining business and education.
Jim is still involved in the industry and is on the boards of companies like Toromont Industries, the Ontario Caterpillar dealer, and Turquoise Hill Resources, a large Mongolian copper project.